It is afternoon. Come on in the room.
Yes, welcome to Arise and Shine Stories of Triumph. We're back. You haven't
We
said that in a
are.
minute.
Come on. We are back.
People are used to you saying that. I haven't heard that in a minute.
You know, you sometimes it might be the pandemic. The
Yeah, it's the
quarantine
pandemics
mind.
get blamed for everything nowadays, right?
Oh, not so, not so. We have the mind of Christ. It's all good. Come on in the
Yes,
room.
ma'am.
We are back
Yes,
and excited about it every week. Different time though. Different time, same day, but different
yes.
time.
We changed the
Mhm.
time up just a little bit. It looked like, let's be transparent. It looked like we was destined to start at 12 o'clock. Anyway,
With the
so we just
technical
scooched it.
issues.
Yeah, we just scooched it on up. Hey, Placida, how are you?
Hey, Plassy.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Karen. My sister just had a party for dear daughter on
Hmm.
Zoom.
Okay.
Girl, she had the DJ spinning and mixing and they went all the way in. They went all the way in, girl.
That sounds fun. Hey, Ken.
Yes.
Thanks for joining.
Yes, we love it that you guys are here. We have Miss Ewonna. She's going to be joining us in a few, and we wanted to talk to you about just everything that's going on right now. It's crazy because don't you feel like you've been on a roller coaster of emotions lately with
Yes.
everything?
Yeah.
The pandemic. We were just joking
Mhm.
about the fact that we try to blame everything on the pandemic, and I thought we just recently had a call saying hashtag gifts of corona.
Right.
And then there's the situation with the young man,
Mm.
Ahmad. I think I'm
Yeah.
saying that right. uh it's just so much. I feel like, woo, I just feel like I'm all over the place,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
And I think, for me, what I had to do is I had to actually pull back a little bit. I don't know if
Hmm.
it's the investigator in me because that's what I do for a living, or is it just the way God wired me? But once I'm
Yes.
into something, I'm into it. So I found myself
Hmm.
just reading article after article after article. And like you said, I had so many different emotions about everything that's going on. So
Yeah.
I just decided pull back, don't read anything else right now and, go get in your word and things like that. Because if not, we have to be careful what'll creep up in our hearts. So,
Hmm.
hatred and, just all of those different things that we know God has not called us to. Can we be upset? Absolutely. Can we have
Yeah.
righteous indignation? Absolutely.
Oh, it was,
However,
yeah.
yeah,
It's hard.
yeah.
You're right. You're fighting yourself almost internally.
Yeah.
Hey, Chlorine,
Hey,
Miss
girl.
Flo.
Thank you. Come on.
Yes, thanks for the compliment.
Yeah.
You're so right though, Benicia. You're so right because I had to catch myself and just sit in the word for a minute
Yeah.
because I was feeling some kind of way, and so
Yeah.
many people were making personal statements about what happened. My
Mhm.
girlfriend next door went and did the run in honor of him yesterday
Oh,
morning.
awesome. Yeah.
Um, but between that and what's on the news about people going back and all the states going back
Yes.
and thousands
Mall
of people getting
openings.
sick,
Mm-hmm.
it's been a lot.
It's been a lot. And I just have one question before we get started. Like, okay,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
okay, the mall is opening on Monday, but what do we
Yes,
need?
ma'am.
Like, we're not cooking. Where are we going? We're in the house, so we don't need any clothes necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just, and everybody, and we're just joking, but everybody has, a right to make their own decision. But to me, a blouse right now or a pair of earrings just is not that significant,
I
So
know.
we just want our viewers to be safe. And, we joke a lot. I said, Charlotte is opening up on Monday, but not 9779, not where
I
I
know,
am.
girl. Look, 1282 Branson Road is closed.
Closed.
We closed. I just put my house on international whatever just now, didn't I? Ooh, I could get them online on the
It's
internet.
okay. It's covered by the blood. You all right. You all right.
I'm gonna have to feed whoever shows up.
In that case, I might have to come over with my gloves and my mask because your mama can throw down.
Yeah, she can. She can. And
Yes,
she's
she can.
honest about it. She passed it on to her girls.
Yes.
So I'm grateful for that. Hey, Brian Evans, I must have called you up. I sent
Hey,
out a
B,
prayer into the atmosphere for you yesterday.
come
I
on.
said, I missed my baby brother. What is up with
Yes.
you, Brian? Put something in the chat. Let us know what's going on. How you doing?
And
Oh, our
listen,
guest
guys,
of honor
share.
has,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, our guest of honor has arrived. I'm going to put her in the room too so she can
Yes.
chew the fat with us.
Come on.
Everybody, welcome Lady Ewonna.
Anna. Hey, girl. So good to have you.
I'm so good to
It
be here.
is. It's really good to have you. You were going to say something to Brian,
I
Benicia,
was
just now?
I was saying, well, hey B, we do miss you, and I was just telling people to share because this topic today is something that is so relevant to everything that's going on right now. We're talking
It
about the
is.
virus and sickness and things of that nature. But we are going to have
That was for you,
Ewonna.
Benicia.
So
So, yeah.
Shundo, yeah, don't get
Shunda.
me started because it'll just bubble up. It don't take much, but I'm just excited because knowledge is power, and so
Yes, it
that is
is.
what this platform is. And one thing that I love, and I'm going to let you introduce her, but one thing that I love as I was reading over her bio and the different things that God has gifted her with, because she is multifaceted, is
Yes,
the
she is.
fact that everything was geared on learning and being educated. When I read,
Hmm.
she took this class and she has this certification, and it was just really good to know that we cannot do better if we don't know better. And so that's
That's
why
right.
I'm so excited that you have, invested in
Hmm.
yourself,
Mhm.
you've invested in your purpose, and you're investing in the kingdom. So I appreciate that. I'm excited because I want to learn to eat better and do better so that we can live long and strong,
That's right.
and we want
Yes.
our viewers to do the same. So
Yes.
Tanya, I'm gonna give it to you so you can introduce her.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
This wonderful lady. I actually met her when I went to do an interview at WDRB Media, her
Mm.
and Shamira the same day.
Oh, awesome.
Um, I kind of crashed the party, right? I was like, "Can I sit in on your interview?" They were just adorable. They were like, "Sure, go ahead."
Yeah.
Energy that came from her, and if you can imagine a double dose of that with Shamira sitting next to
Yeah.
her, there was no way I was leaving the
Yeah.
room. Just a powerful spirit, a good
Yeah.
person, and then you talk about her credentials and you want to add that to the mix. So let me share it with you because I don't want to miss anything. She is the principal owner and CEO of a company called Flawless Glamour.
Mm.
And as you can see by her appearance, she takes that very
Yeah.
seriously. She's also a certified eating psychology
Mm.
coach, life coach, and health minister.
Wow.
So as a health and lifestyle coach, her mission is to be the vessel of love. For
Mm.
what she does with that is she helps women and men to tap into their body's wisdom because it's a
Mm.
temple,
Yes,
right?
it is. Mm-hmm.
So using the methods that concentrate on getting to the root of any eating, body, and health challenges that you may have.
Mm.
She is determined for people that come in contact with her to be on a mission of healing. And
Mm-hmm.
she's very genuine about that. So she actually took time out of her crazy busy schedule, because she's also a mom and a wife,
Life.
um,
Mm-hmm.
to write a book.
Yeah.
She wrote a book called Health Beyond the Chair.
Ooh, that's good.
And I am going to be quiet for a minute because I want you to talk about some of the stuff, that fabulous stuff that I said about you, beautiful.
Mm.
Absolutely. So, Health Beyond the Chair came from me being a stylist over 20 years,
Mm.
understanding the toxicities in our profession.
Mm.
One, I pride myself as a stylist and having a salon, like knowing what I'm using on my stylist. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, on my clients.
Yeah.
We've had women that had developed breast cancer that come, and my heart was like, I want to still serve them, but not add toxicities to them.
Mm.
And so also with stylists, educating them, I've seen stylists struggle behind the chair. And
Mm.
so how we take care of ourselves now is going to affect us beyond the chair because we're going to retire, behind the chair. And we want
Yeah.
to live a good life. And so, and that just really for everybody, how we
Mm-hmm.
take care of ourselves right now, we're going to reap that later.
Right.
So we need to educate ourselves right now, put in practices now, know what our body needs now, and our
Mm.
future self is going to thank us and it's going to love us for doing those things.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so good. It's so good because, I think about just going to the hairdresser myself, and over the years, like, you really are like a therapist.
Yeah.
I'm sure you hear all kind of stories, and to your point, being able to get to the root of why some people are experiencing the things that they're experiencing, whether it's relational, whether it's, health and things of that nature. What I loved is, prior to this, the podcast, before the podcast, we had some really good dialogue. So I'm going to ask you that question again. What was, I would say, one of the events that actually led you to this road, going down this road? Something that happened? Were you sick? Tell us a little bit about that.
So about 11 years ago, my ex, the father of my older two kids, went on
Mm.
dialysis due to high blood pressure.
Mm.
And so I just wanted to know, like, why does the body break down? Why does this happen? And God is so good. A few weeks before that happened, my friend mom came and told me about a diet, and a gentleman healed himself from colon cancer. So
Mm.
I just jumped into understanding this diet. Two
Yeah.
reasons why we get sick is toxicities and deficiencies.
Mm.
And jumping into this diet, they had a facility here in, I want to say Salisbury, where you
Mm-hmm.
can go and learn a day of how to set your kitchen up, how to live this lifestyle. So I
Wow.
met people who had healed from bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
I met a woman who healed from lupus. Um,
Mm.
I met a gentleman who healed from diabetes, and I really understand that food was medicine. And
Wow.
so when I started this journey, I honestly didn't start this journey for myself. I started
Right.
this journey to be an example for him
Mm.
because I
Mm.
remember reading a testimony of a lady whose kidneys had went 14% and she
Mm.
changed her diet, never had to go on dialysis. And his
Wow.
kidneys was at 21%.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to educate him and be that example. But however, in my own body, I lost weight that I didn't know that I could lose. My
Right.
constipation went away. Being a stylist, I used to wake up in the morning and the bottom of my feet would hurt. That
Wow.
went
Yeah.
away. My mental clarity, my
Yeah.
skin. I used to deal with eczema. And if
Mm-hmm.
anybody deals with eczema, it comes and goes and flares up, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it can be dark spots. That was the first time my skin ever completely healed.
Wow.
Wow.
So I really know that food is medicine. Meds don't heal diseases. Food heal disease.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
good. That's real
That is
good.
really, really
yeah,
good.
And I was telling you that my daughter was diagnosed with an immune deficiency
Mm-hmm.
disorder. And when I finally got to a holistic doctor, that was one of the key things they started with. Take gluten, take dairy, all of these different things out of the
Yes.
diet. So to your point, you are absolutely right.
Yeah,
Most and we
Mhm.
and we thank God for medical professionals. So this is
absolutely.
nothing against medical
Yes.
professionals, but what I do recognize is the nutrition piece is
Yeah.
often very minimal, you
Yeah.
know? So,
One of the things that I've learned when I was learning this food, a lot of physicians was coming there to learn
mhm,
about nutrition because they only learn a small piece.
exactly.
So they
Yep.
do share some things, but it's not at the forefront of your whole
Hmm.
process of trying to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you eat a certain way? What things have you taken out of your diet? Do you eat meat? Do you partake of dairy? Things of that nature?
So when I'm doing a cleanse, I take all of those things out. If
Mm,
I'm going to consume those things, I make sure that I get a high quality of those things and
mm,
I don't consume those things on a daily basis. Like
mhm,
my husband, he still likes meat, but we found a farmer at the local farmers market and
mhm,
he's here in North Carolina. And so
mm,
Okay.
we get our meats from him. For
mhm,
me, I am A positive, and I really do better not consuming meat.
mhm,
Um, but I'll still consume it from time to time. I do make sure that I take a digestive enzyme when
mm.
I'm taking those things.
Okay.
Um, but if my body was at some point to develop something, it would be no question to cut those things completely.
Mhm.
Now, Ewonna, I have a question because you just brought up something that my sister, she's a fitness and a finance
Mhm.
coach. She wants wellness for the both things.
Yeah.
Um, and she's been on the blood type diet since, wow, many, many, many years. And on the list is no chicken.
Yeah.
Mm,
You just mentioned no beef.
Hmm.
And I'm finding I eat beef very far apart, but when I do eat it, my body's not dealing with it well.
It
Um,
doesn't digest well for most
mhm,
people. It doesn't
mm,
digest well. Like some people that are O positive, like they can digest meat a little bit better.
mhm,
yeah.
But me being A positive, I naturally have low stomach acid. So
mm.
beef, I don't eat at all. If I
Okay.
eat meat, I may eat chicken or fish or shrimp or something like that.
Mhm,
But beef doesn't digest well with me, even if we're getting it
Okay.
in a clean way. Yeah.
mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about the blood type diet and the science behind it a little bit? Like why it even exists? Who do you know about that?
Um, I don't know all the science behind it. I
Mhm,
learned and tapped into it because it was one of the things that helped me heal, understanding my body and
mm,
what my
Yes.
body needed.
mhm,
That's when I learned that I had the natural low stomach acid.
mm,
Even when I went to a functional medicine doctor, he confirmed it that I
mm,
naturally
Okay.
had low stomach acid.
mm,
And
Mm-hmm.
so I do things like celery juice. We see people, posting the celery juice, but celery juice does have components that help build stomach acid. So
mm.
I
Oh,
drink celery juice every morning because it sets the tone for my digestive tract throughout the day.
Wow.
so it's a good thing.
Mhm,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Celery juice has calcium in it. It gives your body the sodium that it needs. I'm big on juicing because one, the water that's in food hydrates us much better than even just drinking plain water.
mm.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Because that I guess the water is fortified with the natural nutrients and vitamins that's in the food. So that's what makes it better. Is
So
that
I'm sorry,
right?
I couldn't hear you.
The nutrients in the food, the water contains the nutrients that are in the food, so that's what makes that water from the food better than tap water or maybe I drink alkaline water. Um,
Yeah,
and I was told that was good too.
So nice.
alkaline water is good. But just the phytonutrients, that live enzyme. So foods, whole foods, not cooked foods, have enzymes, that intangible life force. Like literally when we eat life, it give us life. Most of us consume more dead food than we do live food.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we can't give life with dead food.
Mm. So we have a question from Karen that says doctors don't, I guess, do blood type children at birth anymore. Don't test, I guess, blood type children at birth anymore. How do they get their blood types? Do you know?
Just
How?
ask.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
just
just
ask.
ask your physician and they should be able to provide you with that. Okay.
That's good because look at Mr. quoting the Greek here, Brian. Let food be thy medicine. Hippocrates, is that how you say it?
Yeah. Hippocrates, yeah.
He's stretching my brain this morning, Mr. Evans. But
I'm not sure. Can you guys hear me well? Because I can't hear you well anymore. I'm not sure what happened. So if you see me leaned in, it's because I'm trying to.
Oh, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yes.
We can hear you just fine, though. We can hear you
Okay,
okay.
good.
If you lose us, you feel free to just bop out and bop back in, okay?
Okay.
Not a problem. This is such valuable information. We're getting a lot of great feedback about it. I want to know why it's a passion for you outside of what you shared about the family. What keeps you going? Because I know that Benicia had mentioned before, and I know when I go to the salon, my hairdresser is kind of like my therapist,
Yeah.
So how do you bring all these pieces of you together to make this wonderful Ewonna? How does that all work, and what keeps you going? What makes you passionate about it?
So creating Glamour, like I've always been good with my hands as a child. Like I was doing my own hair, planning makeup. Like that's just a passion and a love for me. I love when I turn a woman around in my chair and her spirits lift. We have a
Oh,
conversation and her energy just raises up, getting up out my chair. And one, that's my therapy to get away from all my babies sometimes.
Yeah, outlet.
But I love it. It keeps me, I think for me, I'm creative. I have a creative brain, and if I'm not
yeah,
creating, I'm just like, okay, what I'm doing.
yeah.
And then I want to be healthy for me. I want to be a light to let people know that, like, you have a miraculous self-healing body. Your body loves you. It is absolutely amazing. And I don't want to see anybody suffer. Like, it literally, sometimes I have to sit and pray because I can get into tears when I see people suffering and they don't have to suffer,
Right.
and really understand everybody's body is physiologically different. And your body is asking you to go within yourself, fall in love with you, and learn, these soul lessons. And so your body is really asking you, like, hey, I'm acting this way because I'm asking you to pay attention. I'm
That's
asking you to
good.
Yeah.
love on me,
That's good.
and it's calling us to a different way of being, a higher way of being. So at the end of the day, it's a different way of being that needs to emerge, and your body is asking you to do that.
Right. That's so good that your body is asking you, which ties into what you were saying, is that there's a root to everything. So,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
pop
Oh,
out and
yeah.
pop back in because I can't hear you.
okay.
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 We'll be right here waiting for you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So it's so good
Now,
because go ahead.
you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, she was talking about earlier before the podcast, which was so good about the root to everything that's going on in our body and even in our mental state, whether it's rooted in a lie, something that we're believing. Oh, there she is. Can you hear us?
Yep. Much better. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we were just talking a little bit about our prior conversation, and it was so good because you were really talking about the root
Oh,
of
yes. Talk about that.
whether it's the health issue or whatever. So yeah, can you talk to us about how you've confirm that everything that we're dealing with, and you were talking about the dis-ease, comes from something that we're dealing with at the root.
Yeah. And so that root could be a limited belief, like what you're thinking, you know, and how we think and, manifest things. We get back what we put out, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes these things lay in the subconscious mind. So as
Right.
I'm working with people, like their body could be asking them to heal up some trauma
Mm.
that they'll be like, okay, well, I did that work. But no, your body is telling you, the body doesn't lie.
Mm.
So you may need to dig a little deeper to see what lies in that subconscious mind and why am I manifesting these things in a sense,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and then the root, like just our habits, like if we're eating bad or we're consuming different things, why am I consuming these things? Like I said
Mm-hmm.
earlier, we all know to eat more fruit, vegetables, drink water, exercise, but if we aren't doing those things, why aren't we doing those things? Like that's the question. Why am I not doing what I know I need to do?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Um,
the $1 million question, Ewonna. It
yeah,
really is. I think we get in our way more than we get out of our way.
That's the
And
truth.
it's for me, I'm trying to step up my game with the exercise because I know that's tied to so many other things.
Mm.
But I miss one day and then it's so easy to miss day 2.
yeah.
And then
True.
day 3 you're like, well, whatever, I don't even remember doing it.
Yeah.
So
Getting connected to your why. Like, why do you want to exercise?
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, if your why don't make you cry, it's not strong enough.
Come
So
on.
Mm.
why do I
I
want to
like
get
that. That's
why do
two
That
of
I
them.
want to get up and exercise? And I just learned to listen to my body because as women, we are different than men.
Mm.
So we can go hard at certain times of the month, and certain times of the month we shouldn't go. And so it's times where I may lay in the bed and I'll be like, I really don't want to, but there's that little voice that be like, yeah, get on up.
Mm-hmm.
And I get
Mm.
up. And then there's certain days that my body be like, no, like that's
Yeah.
too much. Just do some
just
stretching,
stay in the bed.
That's good.
and so it's really just getting in tune with your body.
Mm.
Hmm.
Uh,
I
Now,
think
go ahead, Benicia, go for it.
I was just gonna say, I think that was such a great point about women just continuing to push themselves because mentally, if I'm laying there, I have to keep telling myself it's okay because I'm so used to moving and something has to be done. But you're absolutely right. I think it's a part of self-care is
yeah,
learning when to push through and learning when to pause because from my experience, if you keep pushing, 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 your body will eventually shut down and then you can't do
Hmm.
anything. So that
no,
was such a great point. Go
yeah,
ahead, Tanya.
No, I was just gonna say that goodness, it just left me that quick because I got all caught up in what you were saying. That's probably because I didn't work out this morning. I'm telling on myself. But your journey, I know that you tie this, and forgive me if when I left before you might have covered this, but um tied to the temple and tied to the word, that's something
Mm,
you're very you tie those together all the time, right?
mm,
Talk to us about the importance of being able to hear him say to you, put that down. You shouldn't be eating it. You
mm.
know, that hearing God's voice
Yeah.
for, in this case, what we're putting in our bodies. Um, is there a way to do that? Is there a secret about that
Mm,
for folks that they hear us say, I can hear God talking to me about such and such?
mm.
How, oh, we might have lost her. And she's back. I've been hearing that we're going in and out from our folks out there, so that
Mm,
might explain what's going on. But that has always, well, and not always, because I understand now, but that was something that intrigued me in my early years of trying to understand. Well, I heard God say, "Oh, for real?
right.
Okay." So you like, okay, talk
Yeah.
to me about that. Can you take that one, Benicia? Because
Mm-hmm.
on your journey, Um, Speak to that for me. I won't even preface it. Just speak to that for me.
Well, it's so funny that you say that because I believe that sometimes we don't meet people where they are. So if somebody
Yes.
is a baby, like you just mentioned, and I say, "Oh, I heard God," that might make them a little leery of what we're hearing. And
Yeah.
that's why it's so important for us to break it down and tell people that hearing from God is almost sounding just like you. Like when, it's not
Conscience.
oh my God, put that candy bar down. You know what I mean? Like it's not this big thunderous bolt, and not that God can't speak audibly, because he can. But it's that inner witness, you hear it.
That's good.
It's very, usually very soft, and it sounds just like you. And you know that it's God because it lines up with the word. So if it's something that tells you to do something outside of it, then you know that wouldn't be God speaking to you. So that was a very good point, and we would love for you to join in and also give us some thoughts on how do you feel that God speaks to you.
For me, it's like going back to getting in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like God has always spoke to me through like my gut feeling. Like ever since I
Mm-hmm.
was a child, like my
Yeah,
gut feeling has never like really let me down.
that's right. The Holy
And
Spirit.
then
Yeah.
like in my meditation time, those
Mm-hmm.
practices, like I
Right.
could literally just hear that soft, subtle voice. It's
Yeah,
just those little subtle things.
that's
And like
right.
you say, when it's in alignment, like it
Mm-hmm.
just feels good and you feel it throughout your body, and at
Mm-hmm.
least that's what happens for me.
Mm.
Um, and when I learned to listen to my body, like I could literally eat something and my body will be like, mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Not it.
Yeah. Put
Not
put
it.
that chicken wing down.
You can feel those things, and I think
That's
it
true.
depends on where your body is, because if your body is healed, what I know, what you put in your mouth, you're gonna poop out.
Mm-hmm.
But our body
Come
digests
on.
and stimulate, and we want to take the nourishment from the things that we eat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, just getting connected to your body when you're so grounded,
Yes. And in
and getting
tune.
connected,
Yeah.
yes, in
Mm-hmm.
tune to who you are, you know where you want to go, you know why you're doing these things.
Yeah.
It's just always that little voice like in the back of your head, like
Mm-hmm.
if it's right, right from wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's so
Yeah.
good
Always
because the more you get to know someone, the easier it is to recognize them. And so that's so good when you talk about your meditation, because you spend more time with him, you become more familiar with
yeah,
the voice, so that's so good.
yeah.
Somebody said they
Eh,
love your hair, by the way, Awana.
Oh,
yes. They said it's beautiful,
Yeah.
which
oh,
we
thank
agree.
you.
We
Thank
raved about it before you guys got in the room. And Karen spoke to the fact that, the inner witness is soft, but it's convicting,
Yes.
you.
And
Mhm.
what's so priceless about having you on with us today is because your background stretches across not just, oh, girl, you look so good,
Mhm.
to the workings of the mind and how that
Mhm.
connects with food and
Yeah,
your faith.
Yeah.
That's an extraordinary combination,
that
you
is
know? It
such a good
really
point.
is, because one feeds the other,
Mhm.
right? But ultimately, you go back to the word, because
Mhm.
constantly throughout this, you've been saying you have to get to know you.
Yes.
Mhm.
You have to get in tune with you.
Mhm.
I don't know any other way than to spend time with him for things to come to light. Sometimes I
Right.
call Benicia out of the blue. I'm studying and I'm like, girl,
Mhm.
guess what he just told me? And she's like,
Yeah.
okay. But,
So the
you
Holy
know,
Spirit, he dwells inside of us, and then when we
yes,
take
Mhm.
it on a scientific level, when we break down the atoms, break them down 99.999, we're energy. We're all energy beings. That's
Mhm.
what
mm,
we are.
Mhm.
And so it goes back to food. When we eat those live foods, that is energy.
Mhm.
You know,
hmm
I
Mm-hmm.
call cucumber, it's like my beauty food. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
helps your bones, it helps your skin, it helps the
Mm,
collagen in your skin. And it goes back to biblical. God gave us every nut, fruit, and seed for the healing of our body. Like,
that's
Come
right.
on.
he's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
it's right there. You
Mm,
know, you can't believe one thing and not the other. Like,
that's
it's clearly right here in his
that's
word.
Yes.
He gave us everything for the healing of our bodies. And
that's so
so
good.
we're in a culture and we're so conditioned to, eating certain ways, doing certain things, and we learn from our parents, our grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's just getting back and creating new habits, listening to your body, what agrees
Mm-hmm.
with your body and what doesn't agree with your body. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times we don't pay attention because our mind is somewhere else, stressed
Mm-hmm.
on money issues, or we're stressed on this, our relationship issues, or
Mm-hmm.
we're worried about our children.
Mm-hmm.
But however,
Sure.
when we come back into ourselves, we understand who we are and how powerful we are, which changes our mindset, which allows us to vibrate energetically on a whole different level to make an impact in the atmosphere. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's all of us. We all need to do our part because we're all a part of the collective, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And as
Yes.
we do our part, then we can shift the atmosphere, Even right now
Hmm.
with COVID-19, it's a scary time, but it was a time for us to slow down and really
That's
get
right.
connected with who we are,
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
And
so
know.
good.
I'm glad you brought that up because I mean, I've seen it on Facebook and Instagram. Lots of pastors have come out, especially, I don't know if you remember that maybe 2 weeks ago when so many of the Black community were dying.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was, well, why is it that we're dying? And the microscope started zeroing in on, well, maybe they're treating Blacks differently, but somebody stood up and waved in the air and said, hold up, you know, we're not that healthy, most of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And because our immune systems are suffering, we're literally under attack
Mm-hmm.
because of our choices,
yeah.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
What's your take on that when that all came about? I mean, you're in the business of nutrition. How
I
did you feel
absolutely,
about that?
I absolutely agree. Actually, me and one of my friends had this conversation, and she was just looking at the numbers and the statistics, with high blood pressure and diabetes, and it is high in our community, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but um, we just have to, with these numbers, they're already high. So even before COVID-19, these numbers
Yeah.
were already high,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
know. And is it COVID-19? Are they putting it on COVID-19?
Mm-hmm.
right.
And so just in my heart, I don't know what God has up under his sleeve that allowed, I won't say he did this to us, but certain things are allowed for us to go deeper within ourselves. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just time for our community to wake up and pay attention and really take care of ourselves and break the habits and the things that no longer serves us.
That's so true. And I think that's why this platform and what you're doing is so important. And we alluded to this earlier is that you can't do better if you don't know better. And so, to
Yeah.
your point, a lot of our heritage is just passed down. Oh, we're going to eat them ham hocks. We're going to eat them pig feet. We're going to eat, until somebody says, hey,
Yeah,
hey, Auntie so and so died,
yeah,
uncle, this somebody has to stand up and say, hey, the buck stops here. But that
yeah,
only
Right.
comes with, well, two things I'll say, because we all know that you can learn something, but doesn't mean you're going to apply it. So it's both. It's two part. You have to learn
yeah.
it and you have to
Apply it.
apply it. So we appreciate, what you're doing, and we appreciate that God chose you to
Yeah,
not only help yourself, the young man, but now so many others. And that's one thing that I wanted to just commend you on is when we really think about how you got started. Of course, it was God, it was a part of your purpose and your destiny, but you also got started being selfless. because you weren't even thinking about you. You were thinking about the young man that you were with. And so it reminds me of God, you know, how selfless he was to send Jesus to die
Amen.
for us, you know, so we can get back into alignment. And so
That's
I
right.
see that in your story, you know, like it was selfless. And now because of that, you have this, and I know it's a business, but a ministry, because you know what? When we're healthy, then we can move in our gifts and our purposes, and then the kingdom, you know, is pushed forward. So I just want to say thank you for being selfless. You know, like you said, most people, it came from them being sick. Doesn't make it wrong, right? But you said, I want to help someone that I love. And in this season, it's important for us to be selfless and not be so
Yes.
caught up on us and what we're missing out. But what can we do to be a blessing to someone else? So I just want to say thank you. We appreciate
Yes, definitely.
answering the call.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I want to give you an opportunity to, if you could give your golden tips, whether
Mhm.
it's one, two, or three of them, but
Yes.
your golden tips that you feel very passionate about sharing when you meet someone who obviously needs to make a change. Um, what is your go-to to share with them?
Self-love, self-love,
Mm,
self-clarity. Know
mm,
who you are at your essence.
mm,
Have compassion and
mm,
really take
Mm,
care of yourself. What affects
mhm,
the mind affects the body. What affects the body affects the mind. So
mm.
you have to take care of your mental health and your physical health.
Mm.
yeah,
That's
that's
so,
really good.
that's
Yeah.
good.
That's really good. And I know several people in our circle are very adamant about self-love and self-care, as Benicia and I are.
Mhm,
It's
mhm,
so important when you sit back and realize just how many things it's tied to.
mhm,
There is no reason why you shouldn't do it. Not
mhm.
only for it's ironic, it's called self-love, but it impacts everybody around you
It
if
does.
you
So
don't
true.
do it.
That's so
It
true.
does. It
Yes.
does. I mean, if you're not loving yourself, you literally can't love somebody else in the way they, need to be loved.
Mm,
Hmm.
And you have to, just like on an airplane, what they say, put your mask on first before you
mm,
help the next person. Like
mhm,
you
Yes.
have to feel yourself. You have to take care
mm,
of your emotional health.
mm,
You have to take care of yourself first.
mm. So, can I ask you a question in the midst of this pandemic? You know, everything shutting down. How are you able to navigate that? You're a hairdresser, like so many hairdressers. You know, the business had to shut down. So, how are you able to get through that and still be smiling? And you know, a good thing you have multiple streams of income. That's a blessing, I'm sure. But tell us a little bit how you felt in the midst of everything that happened so unexpectedly.
I'm gonna be honest. I was just like, if it's gonna shut down, like let's hurry up and shut down. Like let's
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of ready for it
Mm-hmm.
because I'm in the space of helping and creating. So it
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to take that time just to sit and create,
Mm.
to be with my children
Yeah.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say I do kind of miss them going to school. But no,
That's
but
real.
being with them more, um, making sure that we're nourishing, making sure that we're really taking time to, pray together, just really have real conversations with them just to
Mm-hmm.
see where their mind is, what they're
Yeah.
thinking, the things that were going on in school.
Mm-hmm.
So just family time.
Mm-hmm.
And it allowed me a lot of time to create and grow my other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean,
Awesome.
I've still been busy,
Mm-hmm.
but family time, it allowed me to spend a lot more time with my family to see, if did I miss the bar on some things,
That's
'Cause
right.
Right.
I have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old, and they was
Mm-hmm.
running around here fussing, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, what is this?
Right.
You know? And so it just allowed me to take that time to sit and have conversations with them, and just
Mm-hmm.
my mothering, helping them,
Yeah.
to see where they're at and what's going on with them. So
Mm.
that's
So
what
Well,
I've
I'm
been doing during this
I'm
time.
glad you brought them up because I wanted to ask you, just as to piggyback on Benisha's question, our order to go for closure
Mm-hmm.
got lifted yesterday at 5 p.m., right? In a phase. Were you included in phase one?
So no, I want to say salons open up towards the end of the month.
Mm.
Okay.
End of
Okay.
the month.
Okay. So how are you the 22nd? Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
how are you going to manage that and
Mm-hmm.
coming back home to your kids, and kind of like you'll be in the position of the healthcare workers now,
Mm-hmm.
where you'll be exposed to certain things and then having to come back home. Is that something you're looking forward to manage? Have you thought about that at all?
Well, I'll put the proper protocols in place. Of course, being
Mm-hmm.
a stylist, we have certain protocols that we do just to make sure that we're, having certain sanitation standards. So we'll still have those practices in place. We'll do, the mask, the hand sanitizer,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Um, and this is just my personal opinion and my thought. I'm really not fearful to be out here. I
Mm-hmm.
take care of my immune system. I do the things that I need to do. Knock on wood, like I've never had the flu. Um,
Praise
and I
God.
I just do the things that I need to do. And I know God's word. I cover
Mm-hmm.
myself, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So again, I'm going to take the proper protocols and procedures, but I am not fearful. Like I could have, probably wrong, but I could have really went back to work. The way I work is it's not a big salon, so it's not a lot of people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right now, I'm probably going to go back just to do a few people here and there, so I'm not away from my kids because I
Mm-hmm.
was only working 2 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just have all of my clients come on those 2 days. So instead of having all of them come those days to be gone away from my children, I'll do maybe 3 or 4, and then I'll come back home because I'm, helping them, and I still need to homeschool them right now. So
Right.
that's what that will look like when it opens back up.
And I think you brought up a great point that you take good care of your immune system. I think my concern is so many people who don't, and they
Yeah.
don't, and they don't follow protocol. And so, just to hear a a professional who understands that, one, I take care of myself. Two, I'm just as concerned about me and my family as I am my clients, would make someone a little bit more comfortable in that
Mhm.
Mhm.
type of atmosphere with that person's mindset. But
Yeah.
individuals who, I remember when it was at its height, and I would go out and people, no mask, no, like, no precautions whatsoever. And I
Mhm.
think that's the scary thing, is that you know what you do in your home, I know what I do in my house. But just being able to trust God, like you said, doing what we know to do and then leaving the rest to Him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I have some older clients,
Hmm.
that deal with diabetes and things like that. So of
Yeah.
course we're gonna make sure that we follow protocol because
Hmm.
I want them to be okay. You know.
Exactly.
Right.
And then of course, I educate them while they're sitting in my chair. They
they
come
can't
sit
go,
in my
they
chair.
can't go nowhere. That's right. They can't go
Sliding
nowhere.
in there.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's a special bonding time with me and my clients. They really do open up and they share a lot. And I'm operating around their crown chakra, so I want to make sure that my energy is good. When I
Yeah.
come in, and I absolutely love the time that I get to spend with my clients.
Hmm. Oh, and I'm sure they feel the same way, because we can feel that, just from meeting with you today, your sincerity, your sincerity is everything, your authenticity, knowing that you're not doing this alone, but that you're being led by God, which is
Oh,
amazing as well. So I
I
love
feel
it.
Hmm.
everything that I've been through. Some of the things didn't feel good. I didn't like it during the time.
Hmm.
But it led me to where I am. And I feel like we are more alike than we aren't. And when I
Hmm.
meet people, I be like, that was me. Like you were me,
Yes.
you
Hmm.
know? And so
Yeah.
the things that I've been able to overcome, I want to be able to share. My goal is to be a vessel. I want God to use me. So I
Hmm.
want to take care of my temple so that I can continue to be a vessel, for his higher calling.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. I couldn't have asked you to say it better. The only thing you left off there
Mm-hmm.
is where can everyone find
Mm-hmm.
you?
Yes.
So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at I am Ewonna Locklear. That's my
Mm-hmm.
health page. It's just strictly health. And
Mm-hmm.
then I have Flawless Glamour. So Flawless
Mm-hmm.
Glamour is hair, beauty, and I
Mm-hmm.
talk about food on there, but I kind of go into like the beauty food,
Mm-hmm.
on there. So you can find me on both of those platforms, and they're the same on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also email me at Ewonna Locklear, Ewonna Locklear at flawless-glamour.com.
All right, and I'll be sure to put that in the chat because I can't type that fast, but I got the other ones out. So I'll put that in the chat and I'll put it in the comments when we put you on our YouTube channel. I want to
Yes.
definitely do a
Awesome.
shameless plug there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be going live on YouTube as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Nice.
But until then, you can go to www.arise and shine, and that's N instead of the ampersand sign. So arise and shine live, and you can find us and all the past shows and current guests. And you want to thank you so
Thank
very
you
much
so
for spending
much.
with us.
We
Oh, you're
And
appreciate it.
welcome.
yeah, for sharing your wisdom
Mm-hmm.
and your opinion and your position on things, because sometimes people don't want to take a stand either way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's so refreshing to find a saint that will take a stand
Oh,
and not be on the fence.
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. We serve an amazing God.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes, we do.
just to everything that He's brought me into, and taking that time to go into myself, I just really want to share. My
Mm-hmm.
my heart is just to share, just to
Mm-hmm.
get the information out there. Because, like you said, we don't know what we don't know.
That's right.
you know. And
Yeah.
so this is my heart passion. Like I deep dive, I get into like the neopathic health. Like I get their research. Like I want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to share those things so people
Mhm.
know. And when we understand things, we don't operate in fear because fear suppresses our immune system.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so that we don't operate in fear and we get to make educated decisions and take our health back and take our life back.
Yes. Now you
So good.
talking my talk. You
Yeah.
talking my talk. Take it back.
Yeah.
Take it back. Yes. So
Benicia, any closing words for us?
I just want to say, one thing that came to my mind is I'm so grateful for you because we live in a world that is so focused on the outward appearance, and like you said, nothing's wrong with being glamorous. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm a girly girl to heart. I
Yeah.
love it. However, we want to live in a world that is whole inside and out.
Mhm.
And so I appreciate you on today because you have taken the two and put them together. So not only am I going to show up and I'm going to look good, but I'm going to show up and I'm going to feel good. And so I
Yeah.
think that is the best combination. And I think that's what God wants for us. And so
Mhm.
I just want to say thank you so much. I'm definitely going to contact you. So be looking out for me offline. So
Yeah.
I
I'm
can
looking forward
get some
to
more information from you. And
it.
two, where can we find your book?
So my website,
Okay.
flawlessglamour.com, you can order
Hmm.
on my website, or
Okay.
you can DM me. I am self-distributing right now. So
Okay.
you can DM me and I will, ship out that way.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. It was a
Thank you
blast
for
and I
having
learned a
me.
lot. I'm looking forward to learning more.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies, so
Thank
much.
you, sis. And you feel free to share
Hmm.
everybody so that this information just doesn't stop here.
That's right.
Um, we need to recognize the value of our temple, and we need to put this good information in our spirit and share it with not just the person next to us, but generations.
That's right.
So, watch it with your kids and let them know why you're drinking that nasty little shake in the morning that is good for you.
So listen, I will say this: our palates was made for pleasure, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of the foods that we eat now have a lot of toxicity, which our palate is so used to. But when you
Yeah.
turn that palate off and you grow that food out that garden and the way it hits your palate, like that, it shouldn't be nasty. Like if it's nasty, something ain't right. Because everything I eat is yummy. I don't want anything nasty.
I second that.
I can't even make a nasty smoothie joke.
The only thing that's probably tart, because I do drink a lot of herbal teas, so some of the herbal teas are bitter. But outside of that, when it comes to like whole foods and nourishment, and I just started a garden. So when you talk about generations, my mom had a garden. I did not pay attention to it. And so now I just started my garden. I want to learn how to reseed, cultivate the land, and preserve my food. Because if I don't know how to do it, then I don't learn how to have sustainability, and then my children don't,
Yeah, that's
And
good.
so that's something I will say COVID-19 made me sit down and grow this garden, because I've been saying I'm gonna do this garden for the past 2 years and I didn't. And I was like, okay, it's real. Like we
Yeah,
need
you know where that pepper
to.
came from because it came from your backyard. So you're okay
Exactly.
eating that pepper. Yes, I get it.
That's
Plus, it's fun. It's something peaceful about digging in the soil. I don't know. I've always been like that. I love to play in the soil.
Yeah.
So having a garden is a nice thing.
It's energy that comes from the soil. It's healing energy to be able to put your hands in the dirt, into Mother Earth. Like it's nourishing. Like our foods get mineral and enzymes from being rooted down in the earth. So
She got me all excited. Now I want to go outside and plant something.
I'm gonna come by and pick up some vegetables. I haven't got there yet, but
yes,
I will come get some.
I'm sure I have plenty because I made this big garden. Like I got a little farmer's market, but we're gonna see how that turns out.
Well, we obviously can
That's
sit and chat
awesome.
about this stuff all day.
That's
You
so
are an
good.
absolute
Thank
blessing.
you.
Thank
Yes,
you
you are.
again.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
You're
Take
welcome.
care.
All
All
right.
right, ladies, have a good
Bye,
one.
guys. Same
Bye.
place,
Thanks for
same
joining us. You
day.
be
Yep.
safe out there. We love
Next week.
you.
Bye.